Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi Rachel Zerin here with a thought for Shabbat. This week we read Parashat Yitro, the Torah portion in which we find the Aseret Hadibrot, the 10 utterances or 10 commandments received at Mount Sinai. This is unarguably a peak moment both in the Torah itself and in our people's story. And yet we know that these are not the only 10 commandments in our tradition. We know that commandments have been given before this moment, and we know that commandments will continue to be given both at Mount Sinai and after departing the mountain. What then is it about these 10 that makes them stand out in contrast to all others? What is it about this moment in our people's story that makes this revelation so significant? Of course, our tradition offers many different explanations. One of them focuses not on the content of the commandments, but on the manner in which they were given. That tradition teaches that it was this moment, these 10 commandments, in contrast to all others, that were given directly by God to all the people. Yes, there were commandments that have been given directly by God to humanity before, but those were given to individuals, to Noah, to Abraham. And yes, there are commandments that God gives to all the people, but all those instances are times when God speaks through an emissary, through a prophet. God says to Moses to tell the people of Israel. It is only these 10 commandments, it is only this moment at Sinai in which the divine speaks to all of us. One tradition teaches that God even spoke to all our people who were there in that moment and all our people who were yet to come. That all of us today somehow were also, in a spiritual sense, at Mount Sinai, hearing that revelation directly from God. It's a powerful idea indeed. And I want to offer another way of thinking about the significance of these 10 commandments that has to do with the content of the commandments, not only the way in which they were received. On first glance, it seems as if these 10 commandments cover such a diverse range of subjects, beginning with commandments about recognizing the divine as supreme, moving on to commandments about designating sacred time within the week, and the commandment of Shabbat, and then moving on to commandments about family dynamics with respecting parents, commandments about how to interact with others, with friends, with neighbors, with strangers. What could possibly unite such a broad range of commandments? I think the answer might lie in where our people are in this moment of their journey. The Torah introduces this section of standing at Mount Sinai by telling us that it had been 3 months since the Exodus from Egypt. 3 months since that first Passover Seder, 3 months since the people had been free. Which also means it had only been 3 months since the only kind of society our people knew was a society in which people were divided into 2 groups, the oppressor and the oppressed. As slaves, all that our people had known was a life of being oppressed. Now they are free, and that is no longer their identity. But perhaps it is these 10 commandments that caution us not to think that the only other way of being is to be the oppressor. These commandments are linked by the idea that there is something greater than us, something of greater concern than just the individual. That the divine is always with us, that the world that has been created around us is ours for enjoying and for protecting. The idea that we cannot simply take whatever it is that we want, but have to keep in mind other people and their needs as well. In other words, the idea that society need not be that of oppressor and oppressed, but society can be one of mutual care and responsibility. Society can be one in which all people are mutually responsible for each other. A society in which we always know that there are greater principles at stake beyond our own individual wants and needs. That, perhaps, is also what sets these commandments apart from all others. The idea that we can create a different kind of world, one that we have been working on creating since that moment at Mount Sinai, one that hopefully we will continue to strive to create in our own lifetimes. Shabbat Shalom.